Go ahead.
I was going to say, what percentage then of practicing Muslims go with your interpretation that you just gave to us?
Okay, there's 10 million Muslims in America.
Okay.
Okay, if 1/10 of 1% of the 10 million Muslims were crazy and didn't follow this in America, that would be 10,000 people. Could you imagine the havoc that 10,000 people that were dedicated? I'm dedicated. Okay? You're dedicated. We're all here dedicated. But the ones that are twisted,
Okay.
what that would do here in this country, if there was 1/10 of 1%, which is 10,000 of the 10 million, right? If they were twisted and wanted to cause harm or not interpret the Quran the way it should be interpreted, what kind of problems would have out of 10,000 people?
Sure.
Okay, so to answer your question, that's 99.9% of us, even if those numbers were right, are following the Quran. There's 1.9 billion Muslims in the world. There's only 30 or 40,000 in ISIS and in Al-Qaeda. Now you have people but this doesn't just happen in Muslim countries, right? Where there's lack of education, that you don't know your religion, so you depend on people to tell you what your religion is, and they'll use that to gain control and power and money and ego, whatever they can, land, property, whatever, and they'll use that to their advantage, right? That has happened here in this country. David Koresh, Jim Jones. This happens. People use religion, abuse religion to their financial and egotistical goals. That happens everywhere. So, and especially in countries that have a high rate of illiteracy, right? And there's a lot of that in Muslim countries, which dumbfounds me, because in Islam you should seek knowledge, and seek knowledge for yourself. So when that happens, it's just, if Muslim countries, or predominantly Muslim countries, go back to the teachings of Quran and the traditions of Prophet Muhammad, there'll be a whole lot less poverty, there'll be a whole lot less crime, there'll be a whole lot less of everything in those countries. It's like predominantly Christian countries who are poor, and what happens in those countries. Same kind of stuff happens.
They ignore the Quran, we ignore our Constitution.
There you go. Or Christians may ignore the teachings in the Bible.
Why don't you talk about maybe 10,000? We'll just say 1,000. Why don't the leadership of the Islam here in the United States speak out more?
Oh my God. I don't know what to say to you. You watch too much Fox News, for one thing.
Okay.
All right, because we
There are
speak
some, yes.
we speak out all the time.
Okay.
Every mosque, whenever anything happens, we speak out.
Okay.
Thank you for your question.
Okay.
I took one of the news anchors to lunch one day, okay? And I asked her, I said, what the heck? We do good, we speak out against all this stuff, nothing is mentioned about it, right? When one thing wrong happens, it's all over the news. What's going on? She said, Anwar, we're in business to make money, okay? That's what we're in business for. And this is what people want to watch. They don't want to hear what's happening good. They just want to hear the bad, because it makes them feel better about their life. We're in a business to make money. They're not in a business to really give you news. They're in the business to make money, however that is. So, Islamic Society in North America, I know y'all hear a lot of negative things about CARE, but if you really look into them, they're a pretty good organization. I know the guy that heads up CARE in Texas really well. His name is Mustafa Carroll, really good guy. Every time anything happens, ICNA, Islamic Council in North America, every major mosque that I know of, every time anything happens, we speak out, right? But then it gets to a point, like, if some Christian does something wrong somewhere, does every Christian have to say that's not against Christianity? It's like, it's assumed it's against Christianity. And to me, it's like, it's becoming a problem for me to speak out anymore because it's like I don't represent them and they don't represent me. And I don't have to apologize for your actions because those are your actions and you're supposed to apologize for them. Me apologizing for your actions is meaningless. Right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right.
If your kid does something wrong, and I know I've seen this here, and one of our poor county commissioners, his son keeps doing wrong things, and he'll get dragged in the mud. Such and such's son did such and such, and I'm like, well, why do we have to bring him into it? Yeah, the kid's grown now. He's making his own choices and making mistakes. We've all made mistakes. Anyhow, did I answer your question?
Yes.
Can I chime in on that just a second?
Go ahead.
Like this class, we have tried every week to get the Tyler paper to do, they have the Go Guide that's supposed to be what's happening, who's giving what free seminars or what's going on in town. And they list stuff that like happens all the time. Like Meals for Wheels is sending out meals this week. And, you know, I mean,
Today, every day.
yeah, and it's nice that they do share that, but they wouldn't once share this. And I sent an email to Nelson Clyde and the editor and all the head people after Bob and several other members have been trying several times, and they didn't even respond to my, I think very politely put, request that, hey, what's going on? Why can't we, what do we need to do to get a little help opening people's minds that, hey, there is a free class, it's hosted here, come see that the mosque isn't some scary place, and that, you know, they want to invite you in.
Yeah, because there's a gal who does the Northeast Texan Tim Rutledge, and when I told her about this class, she said, well, could you make a report on that? And I said, well, I guess so. And so I've been sending out everything every week. There are a lot of infidels who want to know what in the world are a bunch of Muslims doing studying the Constitution. And so I'm trying to.
We're Americans.
Okay, that's what.
We're Americans, and we care about this country, and we want to understand the laws that we live under. That's.
But you know, like since the class started, there have been only like 3 or 4 Muslims were here trying to understand.
And the most has
Constitution.
been 6.
Most of them that I've talked to, my friends, people I know, not interested. They say we'll know it when we need to. We don't care.
They are
There's a
Americans.
journal that
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
No, let me. And the thing is, we're predominantly an immigrant community, and I know how my parents were. Well, we came here when I was 8 years old, so I'm an immigrant, but not really. Okay, so I am an immigrant, but that's not how I was brought up in this culture. But immigrant communities, by and large, I don't care if they're Muslim or whatever, when they come to this country, it's all about providing for your family.
Sure.
You come from countries that you're oppressed. If you speak up against the government, you get arrested. So you come here and you appreciate the opportunity that you have, that you are free and you can work and you can give your family a good living. And you don't really get involved in politics. My dad probably didn't vote in this country until he was in his 80s.
Whoa.
And that's because I took him and made him go and vote.
Wow.
Okay?
He's not still voting.
Because he's just not interested. One of the reasons we left Egypt is they started putting out rumors about him that he's Muslim Brotherhood, and he's not. But they started putting out rumors. He was afraid he was going to pick it up. It was about Abdel Nasser's time, and even if it was rumored, it was not a good thing for you or your family. So when my mom had the opportunity, because she's a research scientist and got the offer to come here, we said, okay, we'll come and try it out for a year. We were coming here for a year in 1969. When it was 2 years.
You got that y'all thing down real
I grew up in Henderson. So when I talk like this, I'm not making fun of anybody. It's just, this is how I am. Yes, sir.
Just a wild thought when you're talking about infidels and meaning those who broke the treaties and kill them if they broke the treaty with you. I'm wondering, from your perspective, you're probably aware of U.S. government breaking treaties with Muslim countries as they did with Indians over and over and over again.
Okay.
No, just.
Okay.
I'm not,
This
I have no
the
clue.
passages in the Quran we're talking about a specific time and a specific thing that happened during Prophet Muhammad's time. Sure, you can interpret that today. These are the people you would go after, as those, but then don't kill an innocent life. So when these people flew airplanes into the World Trade Center in September 11th of 2001 and killed 3,000, those people didn't have anything to do with the government, with treaties that were broken. These were innocent lives, which is in the Quran. You just don't do it. When this guy goes on a beach in Tunisia and kills 30 or 40 white folks because he's going to be killing, you know, the Christians, that's against Islam. As a matter of fact, in Islam, it says if you are in a Muslim-ruled country, you cannot hurt somebody. Freedom of religion is key in Islam. I can't compel. There is no compulsion in faith in Islam. I cannot compel you to put a gun to your head or a sword through your throat and say, become Muslim or I'm going to kill you. That's against Islam. I mean, these are tenets of Islam. Now, do people not do that? Obviously. You know, the Jordanian pilot that was put